I don't know what today's meeting will be about, so whatever anybody else wants it to be about is what it can be about. Who's 352? I might have found out the other day. I don't know. Well, there might be a meeting tomorrow that you would want to check your schedules, check your emails. Okay, just try to check in tomorrow to see if there's a surprise meeting, but not by me. Okay, that's all.
Surprised, huh?
There might be, but I seems like we would have heard a little more by now,
Hmm.
but there might be. It's kind of nice announcing it right before because I think you get a better crowd, you get the more serious people.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello. Is Liquida coming too? I don't know if I said the name right. I need to fix my setting. I think people aren't muted upon entering. So, I Hey Michael, did you get to check out Sandy's documents? I don't know if you're able to be audible. Well, they're pretty great. I tried bringing them up with my. I just got a new tower, computer tower. I'm going to be real happy with, I'm sure. But I just tried to bring them up with my old one that I'm set up with now, and it's just doing some weird things with documents, converting them so that I can't use them. I'm not sure how to fix it, but I guess I don't need to. Does anybody have anything you want to talk about? You are unmuted, Michael. Unless you have if you have a headset on that has one of those, like a roller thing with a little toggle, then use that toggle to unmute because I have you unmuted. Well, people with their phones, don't they mute with like *6 or #6, something like that? You could try that since it's a phone. Although if you were muted, I'd probably see it. Hey Sandy, are you going to the book club meetings? Do you like it?
I haven't been because I need to read them faster.
Oh, okay, I gotta go slow. Wow, that's good for you.
I have a question.
Yes, who's speaking?
This will be Charles.
Okay, go ahead.
Sandy's documents that I was able to print every single one of them before I went to work today. The bond document, the first one, the borders aren't lined up at all. Is that just a fluke? Is something we're gonna have to try and correct, or is that something in the way it was copied?
Maybe it's the software that you're using. I know my software is messing everything up.
Hey Marie,
Yep.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Now I had to go into my settings and open up my microphone.
Okay. Hang on a second. Charles, are you done?
No, everything else printed out fine. I mean, I printed out every single document just so I can read over it and start filling in above it and writing in what I need, so I don't lose my place. And then when I go do the final version, I'll just use that. But that was the only one that did that. When I
Uh-huh.
printed it from the mega file, that bond printed correctly, but
Good.
that copy didn't print correctly.
Okay.
So I don't know what.
Okay. Okay, Michael, do you have a question?
No, I was just making sure that if I had a comment or something, if I had a comment or something, that you'd be able to hear me. And I was
Okay.
having problems getting like my microphone to access the Zoom.
Yeah. Is Laquetta coming?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her. I know she was out doing something with her younger sister today,
Okay.
earlier, but I haven't talked to her in a couple of hours. She might. I forwarded her the message, but she never responded.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So she might. I'll let you know.
Thanks.
Uh huh.
Oh. Well, somebody asked something. We've got Sandy and, and
Okay.
Jean
Hey,
here.
Marie,
Huh?
I have a question. So on that file, the zip file,
Yeah.
um, so pretty much all it is like we're just having to go in and like edit the John Doe information and put ours, right?
Right.
Um, yeah, I was trying to do that yesterday, or I was looking at it yesterday, but I wasn't able to get the zip file open. But I think it's something on my computer. I went to go drop it off at the computer place. So hopefully I'll have it back tomorrow.
Well,
Um,
I probably sent you two versions, okay? I
uh-huh.
probably also sent you a version that is a Google link and it's not in a zip file because I don't like dealing with zip files.
Uh-huh.
So as long as my computer didn't mess it up, then it should be available. So it'll be easier to access.
Okay. And I was listening to the meeting again, and that's pretty much like a 1, 2, 3 step type process, right?
It Sandy made it very simple.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I haven't, because like I said, I was having problems with my laptop, so I haven't had a chance to actually open it because
Yeah.
the zip file wouldn't let me. But like gathering from what I got from the meeting, it was pretty much like I saw like a 1, 2, 3 step file.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yes. Thank you, Sandy. Dean
You're welcome.
is Dean supposed to be the first name or the last name? Because I'm not sure.
That's actually a middle name.
Okay, so am I supposed to say Marvin or Dean?
He goes by Dean.
Okay, so I because I labeled things Marvin.
That's fine.
Really? Okay. Well, I like somebody's birds. That's nice. I bet it's Michael. You're outside.
Yeah, I am.
That's
Let me get
okay.
mute.
That's nice. No, I like
Oh,
the birds.
okay, I'm
It's
mute.
better than rain.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, we had some rain here this morning. Hard.
Chris, do you have any questions?
Not really at the moment.
Blue, do you have a mic? I could just enjoy hearing you say, "Nope, I don't have any questions."
Hey, I got a question. So
Yeah.
this is just like totally off topic, probably, but that 8300 form, we can use that at any time, correct? Does
I'm
anyone
not
know?
the expert. I don't know. You'd have to follow Michi on that.
Oh,
It seems like there's just a mountain of stuff to know because they talk about it forever and ever.
yeah.
So I don't know. I
I
did.
went over it a little bit in his last class he did for us.
Yeah, I was listening to it again, but when um there was a guy in there like towards the end, and he just, I don't know who's, he got in on somebody's phone. He said he was listening on that end, and he chimed in towards the end of the meeting, and like he was dropping a lot of knowledge on that 56 and the 8300, and he put his email out there towards the end, and I sent him an email, and he's just like, yeah, you're going about it the right way, but he that's all he said. Keep up the work, keep up the hard work, and that's all he said. He didn't say like, yeah, I'm in another group or something, or you can go here to get more info. Like, he didn't say any of that stuff. So
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know if it was John or what.
yeah, the guy that gave out his email, healthy ways or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was.
Are you saying yes, it is John?
I don't know who John is. I just know
Oh,
the email. I don't know the person. I just know the email. It started with healthy ways
well, I
something.
know he has some health products that he's selling.
Oh,
Like, I don't know the details.
yeah.
Okay. Well, he's the one with the book club.
Oh, John Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
No,
don't,
no, it wasn't him. I had talked to him.
all
Oh,
right.
there was another guy. But
Oh, is it Stillwater?
no, it wasn't him
No?
either.
Okay.
No, I don't know. He said he had got taken the phone away from somebody who was in the meeting, and then he started talking.
Okay.
Was
So
it
I don't know.
Michi, was it?
No, it wasn't Michi.
Oh,
I don't want to like stereotype, but Marie kind of already knows me. But he sounded white. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
That's okay.
Sorry, guys. So,
Nope, no questions because all of that information Sandy gave us was so organized. I can see why there would be no questions.
Whoops. She did a fan. I got competition here. Rat and dog.
Charles, how much is your ink for your new printer? Oh, he's gone.
Oh, what is going on?
Oh, did you get kicked off? I didn't do it.
Multiple times.
Oh,
Not three, I think. Not before. I think it's because where I'm sitting and work. I'm as close to the outside wall as I can get.
it
Our
says,
signal in here is horrible on our Wi-Fi, and this building works.
yeah, it says bandwidth low.
And we had a big major fallout storm about 2 hours ago. Well, it's been real bad here.
Oh,
Okay, internet problems at work. We started last week. They had internet problems here. So I don't know what's going on. But my ink, I got the extra large black for that inkjet printer, and I paid $40 for it. And I did the extra large yellow one, and it was 22.
sounds
And they're
good.
supposed to do over 800 pages versus 312 if you buy the Stanford one. So we'll see.
Hmm.
And I was going to say thank you, Sandy, for doing that on a weeknight. I tried the other night, but it didn't go through.
And we did it just for you.
You're welcome, Charles.
Sandy, did you have problems with heavier weight paper printing it?
No, no problem at all.
You
I
did
use just my normal printer paper is like 22 pound, and the pack goes on 24 pound, so it's not a big deal.
Can
Dolly.
anybody tell who the guy is that showed the check in the chat room or in the Facebook page group for $175,000? Is
Well-
he in one of these groups? Has he done the trust and done all that, and that's how he got that?
I think he's doing something else. He's probably selling a product or, like teaching, selling his teaching or whatever. Somebody inquired. It was in the, I hadn't approved it, but he had, uploaded it to get approved. And I had just been waiting on it. And while I was waiting on it, somebody requested the information. So I went ahead and let it through. And it'll probably disappear this week sometime. But there were nice comments underneath there that may not have been related to it so much, but the value from the people that were communicating. That seemed more valuable to me.
It took me a little bit to understand that he himself had filed over 400 pages with Lamar County, Georgia, which tells me he must have done a trust somehow.
Okay. I don't know. You'll ferret it out probably. Hello, Wesley. Do you have anything to share with us? Because we're ready to hear something interesting. Do you have a good mic?
Me?
Yeah. You're like center stage already.
Already? Oh my
Yes,
God.
you are.
All right. Actually, I have an update. Oh, no, I'm not answering that. I have an update.
Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, wait. Okay, you got muted somehow.
Sorry about that. Somebody was trying to call, so it just barged its way in. But there's an update on the app that I was discussing with everyone. I think it was our first meeting that I participated in. The original purpose of that app was to deal with how those of us who are along this path interact with law enforcement. And I think I discussed some of the features of that app. Does anyone remember that?
Refresh my memory.
It was supposed to be a widget-based app that once you hit the widget, it starts a countdown timer from 20 minutes, and then once it hits 0, goes up to, or starts a stopwatch. And that stopwatch would have a calculation based on Trezevant versus City of Tampa as far as illegal detainment.
Oh, I see what you're talking
Yeah.
about now.
Right. There was a brainstorm that just occurred to me last night. Got me up at like 4 in the morning, where I could expand on this app by making it possible to do the same type of application in court, where you would be able to, it would have the same basic function of recording audio and video using both cameras on the device while you're in session. But the feature for court would be you would have all of your legal authorities right there available on your device. You would have the UCC. You would have the federal rules for what is it? Federal rules for civil and criminal procedures. You would have let's see. You would have the federal rules of evidence. You would have Black's Law Dictionary, Bouvier, Ballantyne. Let's see. Basically, almost anything that you could possibly need, and depending on where you are as far as your GPS, would download that particular state's constitution, statutes, and all of their legal references, so that you would never be caught with your pants down if you had to show up in court for any particular matter. Not to say that we should shoot from the hip, but that we would be able to successfully, or better prepare ourselves when it comes to appearing in court for any particular matter. So these are some of the features that I was actually I'm looking to include with this app to make it more functional in more venues or more situations.
Exciting.
Thank you, Michael. I'm thinking that.
If you don't mind, I guess pretty much like when we're gonna walk into court, like we all know like the reason that they're wanting us to go in there. So if you could get something like that kicked off, an app like that kicked off, you could probably like preload it with information pertaining to what you're going in there for. Is that pretty much where you're at on that?
Actually, that plus situations where they have not given you official charges. So that way, if they decide right there on the floor, oh, we're charging you with this, and they give the statute, you can actually look it up to say, oh, well, this says this, and you know what your situation is, you know what happened. So you would be able to rebut, right there on the spot, oh, this doesn't apply because of this. This doesn't apply because of that. This doesn't apply because of, and that way it keeps them from forcing you to contract and being able to then put their jurisdiction over you in that situation.
Man, what were you when I was in my 30s? I could have used you. I was in and out of court all my 30s.
It took me until after 40 years old to start, getting caught up in this foolishness. So, myself included, I would definitely say that. But it is something that I'm seeing is absolutely necessary in this day and age. The purpose of the first part of the app was really to fight against police brutality. This particular sector is really to fight against abuse of authority by judges. So that way, even if you decided to go to the ethics board or complain to the judiciary, the judicial complaint, whatever the sector may be in your area, you would be able to submit proof of things that have happened in session where you have your own transcripts readily available. You don't have to depend on asking for a FOIA request because this is what they've done. No, you already got your own. You don't need to, purchase theirs if it's not necessary. Yeah, you want to be, it would be something that would be corroborated by, purchasing their transcripts, but it's not absolutely necessary. You'd be able to show, look, this is what I've done. These are the things that were said during session. Hey, you got you got some rogues here, some people who are really just operating off the rails, and they need to be brought to accountability.
Yeah, I don't know how it is like in other parts of the country, but like over here where I'm at in Texas, like they're not allowing any cameras in the courtrooms, like period. And like even if you submit like paperwork saying that you want that in-camera hearing, like they'll just deny it and they won't let you do that.
The reasons why I've heard the same issue being brought up in different areas, and what it seems like to me, and I don't know, anybody can kind of chime in on this. There seems to be a concerted effort where judges and courts are really depending on the dumbing down of everyone so
I agree.
that they can just do what they want to do. No one will hold them accountable. And because everyone's doing it, this will just be the new rule of what we just decide to operate with. And that's not right. It's not fair. And, this is not the Wild West. This is supposed to be a society of accountability.
Here in Illinois, you walk in the door, you go right to the window, you have to give them your phone, they give you your receipt back, and then you can go into the courtroom.
Interesting. Okay, here's a nice little add-on to this. One of the things that I want to include with this feature is the ability to use Bluetooth peripherals for additional eyes and ears. There are Bluetooth headsets that include cameras that you would be able to still utilize. And as you know, Bluetooth, I think the effective range on Bluetooth is about 40 feet or something to that effect. So even if you do have to put your phone down or put it away, or it's got to be out of sight, you would still be able to utilize something to capture what would happen in session.
They make you.
So that's what I'm looking at putting together, and I think it'll be successful.
Well, if you can get that going, I'll for sure get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that I do have to be careful in not just the production of this app, but making it publicly available. I have to be extremely careful because this goes directly against what these rogues want to do. So that's going to earn me a lot of enemies. And if anybody else were to take a look at, the playing field here, is going to earn me a lot of high-powered enemies. So I have to be careful, when it comes to spreading this application or this app for this device into these areas. I have to be very careful. Not to say that I won't share that information, but I have to make sure that there are dead ends or separations between myself and the production of this app. It has to be. But absolutely, I'm very intent on producing this and making it available. I'll probably have to put a vague description into it But no matter what, it has to be something that allows people um, to be able to defend their position, their standing, their rights, to assert those rights and to be able to defend those rights if they've been violated or challenged.
Got to cover all aspects, but that's a great idea. I even think with just driving your car, you would need one.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Now, here's a beautiful thing. There are, as far as the Bluetooth peripherals, there are these miniature um, Bluetooth. Let's see, it's a Bluetooth speaker, but it also offers a camera. Some of them are 720 lines, some of them are 1080. Um, but you would be able to put two of these in your car. One at the dashboard, facing all of the occupants inside, and the second one would be at the back window, where you would be able to see anything coming up from behind. So and then the function of live streaming this to the cloud prevents any officer, for example, from saying, "Oh, we're going to confiscate your phone." Well, if it's streamed live, good luck, because there's nothing on the device itself. You got to go out in the cyberspace for that, buddy. So, have at it if you want. So all of this to be able to keep people in honor without being shanghaied or tricked into contract, and forcing accountability upon law enforcement, upon the judiciary, or I should say court officers, period. Doesn't even matter who. To be able to get the things that we are supposed to be able to get done.
It expands the number of people who will be able to function at a more awakened level legally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other thoughts? Or maybe, uh, ideas on how this could apply in your situation? Or even questions?
Can you make something to attach onto their apparatus to take when they go back to their car? That would be great.
Let's see, how this would work is you would either have your phone or tablet with this app on it. I'm going to make it available on quite a few platforms. Let's see, of course, Android and iPhone, or I should say iOS, but also Windows Mobile. And then there are two others that are kind of popular. So I'm going to add it to those. And the experience is going to be this. When you leave out of your home, you have your device with you. If you're in the car, these Bluetooth speaker cameras are already there in the vehicle. When you turn the vehicle on, they activate and turn on and automatically connect to your device. If you activate the app, the feeds both from your native device and from these Bluetooth cameras all feed to cyberspace, for a public record and as an account of your interaction with law enforcement. You are going to be the only one that can disable or stop the recording session. And it's only going to be on your consent. No one should be able to force you to it. Now, if they actually try to force you to it, in other words, if you, I don't know, use a fingerprint and they start applying your finger to your phone or your device, against your will, I'm going to try and layer this so that it's more than one thing that needs to be done in order to effectively terminate the recording session. And of course, when you turn the vehicle off, these devices still maintain battery life. I think some of them are up to an hour. So it should be sufficient, for anybody to go through a traffic stop. It'll be sufficient for that. But the recording on the device's native cameras on both sides will always record regardless. So if you're in a situation where, you started in the vehicle, but then either the vehicle gets towed or you get taken away and you still have your device on you, you're not going to be at a loss because you just lost the Bluetooth devices. The cameras on your native device also record at the same time. So everything is simultaneous. Everything runs at the same time, records at the same time, uploads at the same time. So you'll never be at a loss. Now, here's another situation. If you are simply walking, they have glasses that offer headset capability. You have headphones that go into your ears, and some of them have cameras, either at the center of the glasses or on one side or other of those glasses. The same functionality still applies. You keep the peripheral, the glasses, and even if you drop your phone or until the Bluetooth connection's been severed, you're still able to record from that point of view. They also have a Bluetooth headset. I know this is a very popular one. The Bluetooth headset that has that thing that goes around your neck, and it has the little tiny earbuds. There are some of those that offer a camera that's installed on the neck part of that. And you're able to record using that as well. So whether you're in a vehicle or somewhere stationary or, you're just moving around by yourself, there's going to be a peripheral available where you'll be able to record that point of view without much of an issue. Any other questions?
Nice.
Hi.
I appreciate that. So what I'm going to do, or what I'm planning to do, is I'm going to set up a crowdfunding effort in order to try and get some grassroots support in order to not just develop the app in, to a completion point where I can actually put it onto these markets, but also to start stocking up on some of these Bluetooth devices to offer those as ready peripherals to this app. So it's going to end up being a full effort in being able to generate something ready to go for people to use this type of application in their regular daily life.
I think that'd be great for people that walk their dogs or runners or,
Oh, yes.
Not only drivers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter where you may be, you never know when someone is going to try and infringe on your rights. And then, huh? That food on the stove you could eat. Okay, appreciate it. You never know, like especially going to court, because that is more often than not, something that is coordinated, scheduled, put on a calendar. When you're supposed to be there, type thing. And I know many times some of us are just not prepared when we go into that arena. Or if we do try and prepare, then they'll try and throw something sideways, and then, oh shit, we're not prepared again. So this is an effort to try and correct that situation, or I should say, even the playing field, where whether we're by ourselves or, with other people, we'll have something available to help our situation to not have our estates infringed upon.
It's excellent.
Yeah. Just thinking of this off the top of my head as well. I know it's going to be necessary at some point. I don't even know how this is going to get done, but to offer technical support for, this application and how to use it. Let's see. What things it can and cannot do, what the usual support type channel to help answer questions and to keep people confident in the use of the app. I will probably need to force a non-disclosure or some kind of hold harmless agreement that in case there are agents that want to try and play a game with me, to say, oh, you're doing this and it's against our business model and we don't like it, type thing, that I can kind of protect myself that way as well. So I won't have to worry so much about these agents coming after me. Or at least they won't be able to come after me in a normal manner. They'll have to be a lot more legitimate. So that's I guess that's where it is right now. I am excited about it.
Since it's connected to the internet, you can have a pretty simple website that you can easily update and have links for easily upgrading the software. to
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah to add more features.
hmm Um, just in case these agents will try and squeeze like the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store or any of the other markets. I know that there are third party markets that are available where I can still distribute this app and get downloads and whatever sales or whatever comes with it, uh, and still maintain the ability to distribute what this app can do. Um, I don't have to go through the Play Store or the App Store. So, at least knowing about that kind of it gives me some relief that what I'm trying to share here is not going to be stopped.
You can always sell it on Amazon and
Yeah,
eBay.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, I was actually thinking um, because my thought and expectation with this app is going to expand beyond those of us who are on this path to freedom. This is actually going to reach back to those who are still in the system, and it may open their eyes and wake them up to say, okay, these are the things that are being done against you, and you got to assert your rights. So, with that in mind, um, there are going to be people who are still U.S. citizens who are going to be interested in doing this and using this app for their own purposes. So I originally thought this was going to be something that's going to be those who are secured parties or sovereign or more or whatever the case may be. But the truth of this may expand to everyone, regardless of their legal standing.
Think about
Say it again.
think about
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're offering a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. Um, Fortunately, um, I've been accumulating a lot of resources on how I can get all of this done in a quick and efficient manner. Being able to bring this product to life um, pretty quickly. If everything, let's say if I have a fundraising goal, and I don't think my fundraising goal is going to be big, you know, I know some people they're like in the hundreds of thousands. I wouldn't go that high. Um, but upon reaching that goal, I may be able to get this product to market if my beta testing goes well, and especially the compatibility with this hardware goes especially well. I may be able to get this thing to market in less than a year.
You're selling a product that will help people that lack a little creativity or tech savviness to go ahead, and have something they can grab onto. I know that you have the software installed. Do you plan to have the software installed then for the certain products that you're offering, the physical
Oh,
things?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm looking at even as far as having any type of advertising. The advertising would be a closed circuit, where I'm not allowing advertising of other third parties. I'm really advertising within to say, okay, the ad functionality, you can get, these particular devices to help enhance using this app. The same headsets that I had mentioned, the same uh, Bluetooth cameras, the stationary ones. Um, I would even imagine, and this was a funny one, uh, something I had experienced where I had sheriffs come up to my door. So I would probably get a stationary camera, set it outside, and likewise, you know, be able to have that recorded as an actual interaction with law enforcement. So in case they decide, oh, we're going to barge our way in, no, buddy, you're being recorded. You can't do that. Or um, being served, anything in particular. Oh, this is a Fourth Amendment warrant. You know, is this a valid warrant? Does it have this? Does it have that? And you have these things recorded. So this is what I'm looking to utilize. Oh, and for anyone who, and this goes back to the U.S. citizen type interaction, if any of those persons decides, oh, I want to, you know, discuss whatever with an attorney, or they're having dealings with attorneys, and whether it's some conference that they had with the attorney in private, this attorney promised me this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth, and then they didn't perform. I mean, the same thing applies. This was the conversation. He promised this, he didn't perform because you're recording in the session, you know, hold him accountable.
A product line, and so you're gonna need product recognition with a good simple name.
Yes, absolutely. Um, I did think of a name. I still have to field test that name and see if it's not been in use by anyone else, number one. And if the recognition of that name would, you know, seriously add to what the features of the app actually brings. So those are things that um, I have to put it out there, see what happens with it.
I also on Facebook developing uh, something that I don't know if you'd want to have any um, partnership in a little way, to help. I don't know. Your products would synergize, so
Hmm.
they would harmonize. But I can tell you about it later.
Sure, sure, sure. I mean, I can't think of absolutely everything. So, if anyone has an idea uh, along these lines, I'm definitely open to hear it.
Have you heard of the Remy mask? It's for sleeping. You might want to just like for research, just check out how they allow you to change. You can specialize the features that you want. You can customize the features for your mask, and then
Hmm.
you can keep customizing it. Like you could do it every day if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can
I'll
do
look at
that.
that.
Yeah.
REMY?
REMEE, I think.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Huh. Okay. I'll definitely look into that.
Well,
See what I find.
even if it doesn't add like really significant value, just knowing a person knowing that they can customize it, it does add like a killer app type of flavor to it.
Okay. I'll look at that. I'll definitely look into that. Um, let's see. Oh, this is a technical side of this, but it actually adds to um, what these apps are going to be able to grow into. But I'm actually looking at um, integrating this app with blockchain. So having a distributed ledger that's available in the public should be able to be seen as uh, legal and lawful documentation of actual events that cannot be manipulated by third parties. And due to the live streaming manner um, where the events will be recorded, um, it will be interesting to see how courts are going to be able to validate or um, even if they decide they want to try and strike it down, what would they use in order to attack this kind of data?
Kind of first-hand witness testimony and evidence of notifications for private administrative process.
Exactly, exactly. So it to me, the more I think about it, it seems less and less possible for a court to refute the recordings made available on a blockchain as, oh, this is not evidence. You know, to say this, or even more importantly, to say this is not prima facie evidence, where it's in cyberspace, is unmanipulated, is not been doctored up in any way, shape, or manner. Um, it's raw. So to try and suggest that, oh well, we can't accept this into evidence, that's going to be hard to prove.
Prove injuries.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The only thing that proof of injury would need to be corroborated by a medical assessment of some type. That's really about it.
The emotional impact and psychological impact, these can be expressed, and proof is provided with the video and audio.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. For people to express what they want to say, um, and I would imagine. I know that people will be, in certain situations, they're going to be upset about things that have happened against their rights. They've been violated. But I cannot imagine any. And being that people get emotional like this, they will say things after the interaction is over or after the person has left. And they're not going to be kind things. They're going to be pretty vulgar when it comes to some of this stuff. but I don't imagine at all that any court is going to try and hold anyone accountable to things that are not said in the presence of another person. Person's private thoughts are their private thoughts. If the other person's not there to hear or experience what's being said, how are they going to be able to be held accountable to it? Hell, for all of what we know, judges probably call us, these idiot assholes or something else derogatory. I'm pretty sure they do. They're human beings all the same.
All this will enhance people's awareness, and that will improve their ability to have a more mature response.
Exactly. Exactly. Knowing that things are being recorded should help guide some folks to um, not going off the rails when it comes to response. At least that's what I hope.
Alrighty, I want to promote it in the group. It'll be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, the more people that, I'm interacting with on this journey, the more I see that all of us are like scrambling for a remedy. We want to be able, to have a normal life where we're not oppressed on every side, where we're not challenged for who we are um, at every juncture, that we are not bullied into certain situations that we really don't want to be in and don't deserve to be in. So this is I think it's a worthwhile effort.
As soon as you get your crowdfunding thing set up, go ahead and add that to the group. Okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you. I think it will greatly enhance everyone's experience once we get this thing to where we can actually have it live.
Yeah, you're saying that your device is going to enable people to see things live?
Well, it will record things live. The interface is not so that you would be able to see the recording as it's happening. Not to say that this is going to be covert, but more that um, you don't want to scare whoever the adversary is. You want them to operate normally, just like they always do. And it's really up to their self discipline if they do something wrong or not. So, for example, when it comes to the countdown timer and then the stopwatch, those are going to be the things that are in front of the on the app face, even though the cameras are recording. It's not to deceive anyone or defraud anyone. It is for the protection of the person who is the user themselves. Is really for their protection. Um, and that way, if anything should happen, then this is going to be an accountable record of what has happened. I imagine, when it comes to, let's see, some of the cases that we've heard about in recent years. Um, let's see. I can imagine who. Uh, oh, one that kind of pops up in my head is Sandra Bland. Um, let's see, the interaction of what was the professor's name? Um, he does the TV show for um, celebrities looking up their ancestry. Uh, oh boy, I forgot his name. Um, and then of course, there are thousands of people who their stories don't even get into the mainstream reporting cycle, but likewise their rights have been violated. So these come into play, and they mean a lot. They definitely mean a lot, especially to those who have been violated. So um, that way, there's a remedy made available.
Nice if people could follow up on cases that they're interested in, even though it's not theirs, um, to know information about maybe the people that were involved, the agents, or just be able to look up the case, like with Pacer or something, some um, linking information, you know.
That reminds me of another feature. um, yeah, this thing is chock full. All right. So I mentioned all the legal authorities that come with this app. There's going to be an interface that allows you to aggregate search terms that you need to, or that you're trying to inquire about. And with those search terms, there are going to be um, there's going to be a feature that allows you to readily download case law that shows precedent or that shows how higher courts have dealt with these matters. So just in case you get a judge, oh well, yeah, that's the statute, but where's the case law? Oh, here's the case law. Ta-da! Like, we're
Points
not
and
going to be
authorities.
caught. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So that we're not going to be caught um, unaware or feeling stumped that, oh man, he got me. Just because he's got the books and I don't right now, he's winning. No, I got my books. They're right here on my device, and yeah, I got the answer for you.
Website, you'll have the steps for people for the private administrative process and judicial um, declaration. Is that what it's called?
Um, as far as that, now that will be, I can say that will be probably one of the advertisements. I'm not going to include it in the app itself. I'm going to leave that as a separate thing. But the reference to anyone who wishes to exit the matrix to say, hey, you can be effective with reclaiming your inalienable rights, and just introduce them to the rabbit hole. That's it. I think that may be um, very effective. Those who wish to go into the rabbit hole, free to do so. Those who do not wish to go into the rabbit hole, likewise, free to do so. But it should meet people where the options are there.
I have, it's basically software that people can download into a device,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll offer devices that are already ready. And so with your website, then maybe you could offer people a place to stored their personal information as far as cases go, or
Oh,
their accumulated data.
oh, I keep, I'm forgetting stuff. Um, as a part of the ledger, that's actually a part of the ledger where as you go and do your search terms, these are also events that are being recorded on the ledger so that you can recall all of the case law that's been brought or shared with you or brought forward to you for your research um, in support of your case. Um, there may be, let's see, hmm, maybe an additional software on a different platform, maybe on PC for whatever purpose, uh, that you would be able to review all of these results, parse through them, and build your case in a pretty
Oops.
easy to navigate format.
They'll need to have their own account number, and then they can just you can provide all kinds of things online.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and another thing for those of us who are on this path, um, to have already recorded, and this is probably going to need to, be offsite stored, um, their pertinent documents. So UCC1, non-UCC, declarations of status, affidavit of life, affidavit of death, um, executor or executrix appointments, um, everything that is the Minnesota DBA, um, EIN information, your banker's EIN, foreign EIN, trust EIN, hold harmless and indemnity agreements, security agreements, all of the things that are pertinent that you would ever need to share with any organization, you would be able to have in a record on file online, ready to download.
Tell that to just about any law firm, or I'm not promoting the attorneys, of course, but you know what? They're going to want that.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is something that I think it's kind of like a LexisNexis for um, for natural persons. Or let me say it:
It's natural. Everybody.
natural persons or private persons.
Well, everybody can benefit from it if they're willing to do anything for themselves.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's just a matter of them uh, learning what it is they need to learn, filing what's necessary to file, and when they're approached, all right, no problem. You got the recording of the interaction so that those who um, are there and participating are held accountable. Simple as that.
Sounds great. Does anybody have any questions? How are things going with your brief and the other things you're dealing with?
Oh, the brief has been uh, submitted and entered. Um, the law clerk told me that with my ex-wife and her attorney, they decided to submit a 200 plus page brief and all this evidence and crap, and it was a mess. Thing was like an inch thick at least. Um, I had submitted documentation that was like, I'm looking at 50 pages. Being that everything that both of us have submitted are, in the law clerk's opinion, very thorough, he said that, the judge is going to need some time to get through this so that he can put it on the calendar and we'll be able to see what's what. So I'm grateful for that. I'm looking forward to him, being able to get through it quickly. And at the same time, I have a number of character witnesses that I have appealed to and tried to reach out to in order to share what my connection with my son is and what their understanding and expectations of my ex-wife has been. That she misrepresented herself. She defrauded me. And the goal of what I'm trying to do is I'm using contract law to basically say, as a part of my personal vetting process, even in not just the adoption, but to even engage with her, to go through an engagement. Part of that was that she was going to commit to refrain from interrupting my interactions with my son. That she would not interrupt my functioning as a parent to my son. And her request to the court to prohibit contact with my eldest son now breaks that contract. And because she broke that contract, I'm no longer held to contract to allow her to continue with the adoption.
I have an older son that the younger son's not allowed to see.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Well,
That's
not
pretty
just
good.
I'm prohibited from interacting with my older son.
Oh, you are.
And right, I'm the one that's being prohibited. And my contingency for allowing the adoption was that she would never interrupt me being a father to my kids. So her petition violates that agreement that we have.
Well, something good is going to come out of it then, because since it negated the contract.
Exactly. So, being that this is dealing with the law of contract, there's not going to be anything that she can say, on a morality or ethical point of view that's going to trump a contract. So we'll see how it goes. I'll find it very difficult for a court to bring another type of decision other than, yep, adoption vacated. And without the adoption, she can't hold custody of him. So I'm looking forward to that.
Keep us updated in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I certainly will.
Is there a use for your silver bond in the case in any way?
Oh, yes, I did put that. Let's see. So where things stand, I live in Essex County. The court that had put the warrant out for me was in a different county, Union. Union County sheriffs came to Essex to come get me. During the process of the arrest, they decided to charge me with aggravated assault of an officer and resisting arrest, neither of which are true, period. But nonetheless, they're trying to go through their process and tactics of scaring and threatening. So I entered the surety bond on the record, along with a lot of the supporting documents, my UCC-1, my legal notice and demands, my W-8-BEN, a number of things. You left the door open.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So I put those things on the record. The clerk took them and entered it into the docket. And as long as it's in the docket, I'll be able to readily reference it and say, hey, regardless of what you have to say, you already have a surety bond on the record. So that negates the need for, holding a body as surety. I've demonstrated that I'm solvent, that, I'm responsible for the situation, and I put up that responsibility for consideration. So essentially it's going to function as my stay out of jail card. The more I go into this, the more I'm starting to realize I probably have to enter that same bond every time I go to court, or every time somebody tries to bring me to court. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Good. Shall we wrap it up?
Anybody else have anything? I think I missed the first hour. What was being discussed at that point?
What did we discuss? I'll have to look at my notes. We talked about a printer.
Oh.
We didn't talk about much.
Okay.
Yep, and some files.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm getting an update this weekend on how to proceed, and everything is pointing back to claiming and controlling the name. So once I get those documents and go through them, I'll definitely share them so that everyone's on the same page with how to proceed in most of these matters.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Leslie.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Dean. Okay, well, you're welcome. See you next, hey, there just might be a surprise meeting this weekend. I don't know. Okay? So, kind of keep a lookout. Okay? That's all. And if not, we'll see you Friday. Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, y'all.